This video is about the 3 factors which we need to consider when we perform breathing mechanics exercises. The first one of those factors you have already tried, you've also assisted already, and that is the lateral breath, breathing sideways. The second factor is the side abs. Upon exhalation, we want to engage more and more of our side abs because they are the connection of our ribs to the hip. And only through this connection of the lower ribs to the hip can the diaphragm unfold and expand properly. And then we've got the third factor, and that is our ribcage. We want to expand every area of our ribcage. Everywhere where we've got ribs, we've got potential to breathe into that area and direct our airflow there. If those or some areas are restricted, then problems arise. That can be neck tension, it can be lower back issues, it can be hip issues, it can be shoulder issues, among others. If any of the areas of our ribcage, that is not just the front side, as we believe, because we've got the idea that our lungs are just in the front, no, also on the side, under our armpits and our upper back, the so-called mediastinum. So all 3 factors are very important. Gradually, with breathing mechanics exercises, we want to expand our ribcage more and more. That is probably the most important goal that we have, because also the lateral breath involves expanding the ribcage. All right, it's these precise factors, and we want to integrate that also in a quick exercise. So place your hands on your ribs, just as you have in the awareness exercise, and now we want to exhale a bit. We see that the fingers overlap, and when we inhale, there is an inch of space between our fingers. And when we exhale, or with me now when I'm talking to you, I use air, I exhale air, and you can see that my fingers overlap again. Okay, this is the lateral breath. All right, and then we've got the second factor, which are our side abs. We want to make our exhale audible. We want to hear it in the form of sighing or humming or performing it this way, because it is easier for us to breathe slowly in that sense and to engage our side abs. So try it with me now. You can place your fingers in this C grip so that you can feel the engagement of your side abs too. Inhale briefly and exhale now through your mouth. Make it audible till you feel them kick in. Hold this tension. Breathe in sideways. Again, exhale. Keep the tension of the side abs, and now focus on breathing sideways. Once again, exhale. And inhale sideways. So there are 2 images that I want to convey. 2 images that are good if you kept in mind while performing those 2 factors. The one is the importance of the side abs. If you imagine your ribcage inflating sideways is like an umbrella expanding and closing, then that would be very beneficial to improve your lateral breath. So when we inhale, the umbrella expands, and when we exhale, it folds together. And why is this important to know? Because the old-fashioned umbrellas, you needed to hold at the bottom in order to have adequate force to open it. Nowadays, you press a button and it unfolds by itself. The old-fashioned ones, you needed this hand, and this hand represents the side abs. We need those side abs so that our diaphragm can expand properly, because it keeps the ribs locked in position. It keeps the connection to the hip, and like this, our diaphragm can expand properly in all directions. All right? So keep this image in mind, the umbrella. And then I want you to imagine that your rib cage is like a barrel filled with air. And we want to exhale everything until the last little bubble of air, and then inhale only to about 75%. So no complete inhalation, because this last bit, those 20% or even less, we tend to engage our shoulders to get air up here, or our neck muscles. And this we want to avoid. But there will be special techniques to reduce the influence of your neck muscles in breathing at a later stage in this course. So it's these two factors. And then we've got the third factor, and that is expanding the rib cage. So in case you are in a seated position like I am, then I want you to shift into sitting in a chair or sitting on your heels, just the way I am going to now. Because we want to control our shoulders right now when breathing. So it might look a bit weird when I point my fingers like this to the side. If you're sitting in a chair, then you can draw your fingers right to the ground. And if you do so, I have to do it like this, then you will feel a gentle stretch already in the trapezius muscle here. Might even pull up right behind your ears at the back. So if you feel the stretch, that's good. And we want to make sure now that we keep our shoulders low throughout those 5 breaths now, whether we inhale or exhale. So we inhale quickly and exhale. Make it audible until you feel the side abs kick in. Keep that tension. Focus on breathing sideways and keep the shoulders low. And exhale. Keep the tension. Breathe in sideways. Keep the tension. Breathe in sideways. Keep the shoulders low. And relax. And maybe you felt some expansion anywhere in your rib cage. Then that is something we want to provoke. All right, so it's these 3 factors. There will be a separate video with which you can practice this exercise. I deliberately want to keep this video short so that you can listen to it if you need to know the theory about those 3 factors and the first breathing mechanical exercise.